Hi, Suresha. How are you doing today?
I am good, Sadie. How are you?
I'm good, and thank you again for. I've already said it, I know, but thank you again for making time for us today. This is continuing the conversation with Sadie, and I want to just explain that we are here today to explore care through the lens of a lived experience, emotional intelligence, and the everyday practices that help us build more compassionate communities. Today, I'm joined by someone whose work sits right at the heart of what this podcast is all about. Hence, I'm very grateful you're here today. Sirisha is a nervous system educator and speech language pathologist specializing in trauma informed and polyvagal informed regulation work. She supports individuals in reconnecting with their body's intelligence to navigate emotions, stress, attachment patterns, and healing, guiding people from dysregulation into embodied safety and presence. Her approach integrates neuroscience, somatic practices, and lived experience in a grounded, accessible way. She's passionate about topics like the nervous system regulation, emotional resilience, the body's role in healing, polyvagal theory in everyday life, and the power of felt safety. I'm so pleased to welcome her into the space today. Welcome.
Thank you, Sadie, for having me.
Thank you. We're going to start off, as we always do with these conversations, with foundations and values. But before we take off into that, I just want you to explain what polyvagal is to our listeners.
Absolutely. It is pronounced as polyvagal theory. So it's all about vagus nerve in our body, which is a super highway which supplies all our main subconscious processes like digestion, heartbeat, and some of the face heart connections.
Hmm.
Literally, the whole body is connected by vagus nerve. So, the polyvagal theory is about how we internalize a sense of safety to bring an internal sense of safety through
Yeah,
some of these tools, somatic practices, which addresses how vagus nerve works inside.
fantastic. So, your approach is really nervous system first.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And just to make it really clear for all our listeners, your main focus is children with feeding challenges.
That's where I started
Yeah.
my nervous system journey, but it kind of spread into my own personal life using these tools in my own life and bringing a lot of health related changes
Yeah.
and a lot of balance, healing, and a sense of confidence of showing up in
Yeah.
a very safe way and supported way. Yeah.
Fantastic. I just wanted to like so there's a lot of big words in that. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody was sort of on board with where we were going. So now we've done that, I will go into foundations and values, which is I wanted to know what core values guide your work and the way you show up for the people you support.
I think first thing first, a nervous system is all about safety. That's my number one value. Just
Yeah.
people have to feel safe
Yeah.
within and without. That's my first core value. And I think um, some of the other values I would say is bringing in a sense of humility and integrity and presence. Presence is a very, as a practitioner and professional, I think presence is another very important value as well. I
Totally
believe
agree.
in that real change happens when people feel seen and not rushed, and when they're really supported and not fixed.
That, yeah, perfect. As I said in the introduction, you are everything this podcast is about, and that's why you're here today. So please don't be put off by any big words because this lady's got a lot to share with us today. What experiences or influences have shaped your understanding of the nervous system and healing?
As I said, I dived into nervous system science because I wanted to do trauma informed feeding as a
Mm,
feeding therapist.
Hmm.
For a long, even now I'm very passionate about reading. It's not that I shifted my career. My experiences with nervous system started with books, but it didn't remain in books. It came as a lived experiences. So when I worked with children who don't feel safe enough in their bodies to eat, speak, engage, I saw how this regulation, bringing in a piece of regulation, nervous system regulation, change every changed everything about my sessions. And I thought, why not bring this science into our own lives? Like, how do we manage stress, burnout? As a woman, how do we manage our cycles? Like, how do we do go about creative expressions and moment,
Yeah,
you know, where we can
brilliant.
slow down?
Yeah, yeah. And then listening to you talk, I'm literally thinking a lot of it is about relaxing, isn't it? And not letting the nerves take over in a lot of ways. But how do you get to that point? How do you navigate to that place
Yeah,
of
I would
safety?
say more than relaxing, the term that I want to use is allowing things to exist. And especially we're working, when we say nervous system, we are really honing into the body level, like not in the head at all. That's the misconception. That's where people get stuck.
Yeah,
We're really getting into the body
yeah,
awareness.
yeah, yeah. That's brilliant and very helpful to me because I'm a very cognitive. I can get very nervous as a person myself. So I'm learning
We all
loads
do.
from you.
We
Just
all do, and it's okay.
yeah, and you can get very trapped in your head as well, which makes it. You have those challenging days, don't you, when you just want to work through it. When you think about the foundation of your practice, what feels most important for listeners to understand?
I think no matter what it is, like is it learning or speech therapy or feeding or healing or trauma, whatever it is, I think the regulation comes before the skill. We learn any skill. So I really want listeners to understand that behaviors are not problems to fix. They're really signals that we need to listen to.
Yeah,
So when we meet the nervous system first, whatever area we are trying to make progress becomes sustainable and not forced.
yes. And that takes a lot of self-reflection, doesn't it,
Yes,
to
it's
get to that
absolutely
point,
a self-reflective. Yes, a lot of
which is
self-reflection.
what we're
I'm glad you said that word.
yeah, this is exactly what we're all about. This is about addressing the real issue first so that we can live our best lives, basically.
Yes.
Moving on to emotional intelligence and regulation. How do you define emotional intelligence through the lens of nervous system regulation?
Okay, I love this topic.
Yeah,
Um, eh, because a lot of us think emotions are somewhere. We feel emotions, but we think emotions a lot. We think of it
yeah,
as sadness,
I
happiness.
totally understand that one.
Mhm. So, from nervous system lens, we see emotions as somatic imprints. Like each emotional has a signature in our body. When we tune into our body, we see where these emotions are showing up exactly, like physical sensations or proprioceptive sensations. If we are self-reflective enough and we spend enough time with our bodies,
Yeah,
we can see these sensations, and that's when it'll all complete itself.
yeah. I've got a lot to learn on that one, but I totally totally understand because I can be talking, but then if I'm tense, my shoulders come up and it's all coming into the body, and it's
You're
it's very
noticing
hard to
something.
regulate that. Yeah, absolutely. What regulation skills or practices do you find yourself teaching most often?
There are tons of things. There are things that you can teach like on an everyday basis, very simple nervous system friendly tasks. Or there are certain very specific techniques that you can use in individuals who suffered trauma for a long time and having really severe issues in certain areas of life. I see women having a lot of issues with cycles like PMS, PMDD,
Yeah.
all of those, or just the childhood trauma showing up in the adulthood.
Mm,
So there are different set of skills that you can teach, but if I have to give some takeaways to everybody
Yeah.
that can benefit from this nervous system thing, I think the first thing I would say is slow down your body. Even before trying to change, we rush a lot, and our body is not meant to go at that speed. Our
Yeah.
nature has
This
not
is my approach. Yeah.
yes, nature
Slow
has
down in
not
everything.
that's the first thing. Any client I see, the first thing I would say, you should just the overall movements of your body throughout the day
Mm,
needs to go down and make it
yeah.
10x slow because we are rushing
Yeah.
like never before.
I really love that you said that as well because I'll never forget. A really good friend of mine once said something that just never left my head because I thought she was so on point. She said, "We are not built to live the life we live."
We are
And I
not.
thought that just explained so many issues around me. I thought, bingo.
And I think the
And you've
slow
just
is the new
encompassed that.
sorry for cutting you off. I think the slow is the new speed. You get more
Yes.
things done when you do it at slower pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliantly said. Sorry to butt in there when you were talking as well.
Oh, no
Um,
worries.
Supporting others can be emotionally demanding. How do you stay grounded yourself and regulate your own body when you're helping others?
Yeah, as I said, I keep it slow. My days
Hmm.
start slow, mornings are slow, especially. The very conscious decisions that I've taken is keeping the mornings slow because at
I
the
love
start
that.
of the day, that sets the tone for the day. And I do my little grounding practices that I've learned
Hmm.
um, in my certification practice as a practitioner before my sessions, between transitions, and at the end of the day. And I constantly listen to my body. I made this practice habit. It
That
is
is
no
brilliant.
more something that I have to give effort on. It's just become normal to me that I listen to my body, when to eat, when not to eat, when to move, when not to move, when to rest, what's body's calling for.
Do you know what? I think every one of us, we need someone like you in our lives. I'm already feeling really chilled out talking to you. It's just like, can we have a replica of you and then just throw you out to everybody so we've all got one each? It's brilliant.
It is very empowering journey, Sari, because yeah, it has taught me a lot of things like honoring boundaries,
Yeah,
resting
I'm
without
there as
guilt.
well. Yeah, I'm so there
Resting
with
without
you.
guilt. Yes, we're just in this fast-paced world. We are just constantly chasing productivity,
Yeah.
and our
And where does
bodies
it end? Yeah,
yeah, where's the end? And
that's
our
the
bodies are
question,
getting
isn't it?
taxed because of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. You are you are genius. I love that. Reflective care and embodied awareness is the next section we're going to explore.
Sure.
So I wanted to ask you, what does reflective care mean to you in the context of trauma-informed work, which is what I would say was a bit more specialized?
Reflective care to me is not just as a practitioner, it's not just what someone is doing,
Mm,
but what their nervous system might be experiencing.
mm,
So in trauma informed work, it's a practice of responding with curiosity instead of correction. Like
right.
I'm not showing up like I want to fix somebody. I'm not correcting somebody. I'm present with them. I'm seeing their behaviors with curiosity. And it also means reflecting on my own state, expectations, and the pace with which I show up impacts the person in front of me.
Well said. Very well said. Yeah, love that. Many people move through life in a state of numbness or overwhelm. How do you help them reconnect with embodied awareness?
So then there's another skill that I teach people is the three states of nervous system that we move throughout the state. So there's medical terms for it. We call it dorsal vagal state or shutdown responses. Like we're shut down, depressed, and can't move around. And there's another level where we are activated, like morning rush that I talked about. Like we were just running to get the kids to school and
Yeah.
packing, and we're
Yeah.
in that rush mode and urgency mode. That's activated response. That's just one of the example. There could be so many like that. And some of the things are very subtle. Like, if somebody is really picking up their phone in every red light, they're really in activated response.
Mm,
There are people who
yeah.
just pick the phone in the red light and just not look at the red light, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
they're
It's
constantly in activated responses. Um, and the third state is the ideal state that we want to be in, the calm ventral vagal response, we call it as. That's the perfect socially connected state. You
yeah.
relax. I teach people how to map these states in their own lives, so they bring in more awareness rather than just carrying away and giving their behaviors a toxic story.
I am so gonna get in touch with you after this. I'm nearly there,
Please
but you're
do.
making me realize I'm not quite there. Yeah, and I'm so glad you're here to sort of share this with everybody because this is genius stuff. I love it. And the nervous system is just massive. And I don't think we fully understand it, not as well as
No.
you do. A lot of people are still in the dark with a lot of this. That's incredible. I absolutely love that. Without sharing identifying details, can you describe a moment where reflective care created a meaningful shift for someone?
Yes. So I just saw a client last week. This was a client with sleep issues,
Hmm.
like have trouble sleeping, and she would have a day long full of work, exhausted, tired, but very alert. I think a lot of people have that issue. They're still wired at the end of the
This,
day,
yeah,
can't fall asleep. Um, so we did the general work. As I said, I taught her how to map the states, and it was pretty clear that she was most of the time in the activated state, like she wants to run behind her goals, to-do lists all the
yeah,
time. And there was a pattern that I was seeing. Uh, Whenever she wants to sit and rest, she gets very restless. Like she can't rest. She feels like there's something missing. I gotta go
yeah.
do something.
She's a
I-
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, she's a
she's
very
still
cognitive
always
person.
activated state.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
used to
there are a
be
lot
like
of
that.
people like that. That was very
Yeah.
interesting. And the most interesting part in her journey was this was connected when we tapped into her history. This was very connected to how she was brought up in childhood. She
Right.
was taught to constantly be productive. She was praised. She was rewarded only when she was achieving some things, and
Right.
not when she was rested and doing nothing as a girl, as a little girl. That's why I
Got
said
you.
kids need to do nothing for some time. Like it's
Yeah.
okay.
I think we're a little bit more attuned to that in today's generation.
Yes.
It's generational, isn't it? It's families and lineage and the way they've been brought up, and that affects it, And we're sort of all going through that transition as, different generations come through. Yeah, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So we had to track her history, and then what I saw was her nervous system all through these years has learned that she cannot rest. Resting is not
Yes.
safe in her
She's been
body.
programmed that way,
Yeah.
like a
And then
computer.
once she got awareness, and there were sessions she used to cry. Like it does things used to unleash by itself when she used to sit in her body and
Yeah.
go through some of the guided processes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's really helpful to hear because I'm sure this is something that happens a lot and people don't know where to go with it.
Hmm.
Um, and your guidance is so valuable. It's brilliant. When we go back to resilience and I'm thinking more about the future of care as well when we talk about resilience. What has your work taught you about resilience, individually or collectively?
So I think resilience is not about pushing through hardship. It's
Hmm.
more about building nervous system capacity to safety. And building capacity doesn't definitely doesn't come in one day. It is practice over time. It looks like
Yeah.
learning to listen to body and responding to care and repeating that pattern again and again. And our nervous system starts to learn new stuff and builds in safety every time we listen to our body.
When you talk about resilience and saying you shouldn't, it's not always about pushing through something that's really hard. I totally agree with you, but also because I've got my own family, so I also think there's an element there where you shouldn't just think, you shouldn't just say, well, if it's hard, don't do it, because some things are hard, but it's worth pushing through. Sort of, where do you draw the line on that when it comes to guiding people?
Okay, I think we're playing around the words in this. When we say pushing through,
Yeah,
we can also call it, when I'm saying building nervous system capacity,
yeah,
it is nothing but
hmm,
nothing but pushing through, but in
yeah,
a very safe and titrated way. So titration is one of the technique that I teach in nervous system regulation. There's titration, pendulation. There are a lot of things like that. So we don't teach body all of us bombard body all of a sudden with so much. We titrate little bit, little bit, little bit at once. And then that's how people come out of grief as well. Like when
yeah,
people are grieving, you don't grieve all at once. It
yeah.
We titrate it little bit by little bit and then bring
Right,
us
got you.
internalize safety through that grief, safety through that grief. And then we pass through that grief safely. So that's
And
more
also,
important.
yeah, and it's also about making the goal achievable as well, isn't it? Because that will
Yes.
bring you into an area of safety. Perfect. Thank you very much. It's just making it really clear what we're talking about. When you look at the future of trauma informed, and here's that word again I didn't say very well earlier, polyvagal,
Polyvagal.
informed informed care, what gives you hope?
I think it's a growing shift from asking what is wrong to asking what does our nervous system need. So I see more clinicians, parents, communities recognizing that safety is not a soft concept; it's more a biological requirement. Um, so as a trauma informed and polyvagal informed care continue to evolve, I think I'm hopeful because we're learning to work with body instead of against it.
Brilliant. I would love it. I don't know if you will, but if you would come back for series two, I would absolutely love that because we're going to move on to how instead of why.
Yes, absolutely. We should give more tools away for people to
Absolutely.
follow.
Would you come back for series two? Say it
Yes, absolutely. Let's do
on
it.
the chat now. Oh, amazing. You've just made my year. Thank you. That's brilliant. You are absolutely brilliant. Um, one last question, and thank you for that. What practices or mindsets do you believe will matter most for the next generation of carers, educators, and healers?
Okay, I really want listeners to get this clear because there's a myth in these words of mindset.
Mm,
I love mindset work, staying positive, keeping ourselves. But I'll tell you one more thing. If your body is in a very dysregulated state and you're doing mindset work, body and mind are working in two opposite
yeah,
directions.
yeah,
So that's what I said when I told regulation comes before skill. We need to be regulated in our body and then do mindset work over it. It's like the amplifier, the piece fits in the puzzle so well.
amazing,
I mean, you will
amazing.
see the difference. So that's something that I really want listeners to get it there. Don't get carried away with that mindset work. And this often shows up when we are trying to change habits. Like, let's say I want to quit coffee. Um,
Yeah,
if you just
that isn't
use the
happening for me, but yeah.
I know for most of the people, but so when we just go into the mindset work, it feels like a
Mm,
battle.
Yes.
to change a habit.
Yeah. Internal battle, I call it, internal war.
Yeah, it's an internal battle, and there will be a lapse. Like you put it up for a month, and I'm like, "Ah, I'm tired," and then I go back to coffee. That is just the mindset work. But if you accompany it with the nervous system regulation work,
Mm.
the results might take a little longer because we got to titrate it, but it's
Titrate.
just consistent. It's consistent. You tend not
Yeah.
to go back to your coffee again. Yeah.
I love that. You're amazing. And thank you so much for your time. I'm just going to finish off and just say, as we come to the end of this conversation, I really want to acknowledge the depth and clarity you've brought into this space today. And you really, really have. And I definitely want you back. So thank you for that. Your
Thank you.
way of speaking about the nervous system, safety, and embodied healing is so grounded and accessible. And it offers a powerful reminder that regulation isn't an abstract concept, it's something we can feel, practice, and return to in the smallest moments of our lives. You've helped us see how care begins in the body, how resilience grows through presence, and how healing becomes possible when we meet ourselves with compassion rather than pressure. These ideas that ripple far beyond professional practice, they touch the way we parent, the way we relate, the way we move forward through the world. Oh God, I just feel so honoured to have you. Really, the information you've just given is fantastic. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, your lived experience, and your generosity with us. It's been a privilege to sit with you. This has been continuing the conversation with Sadie. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Keep reflecting, keep growing, and keep caring. Thank you so much.